What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today, GameInformer dropped 8 videos detailing the new Crucible maps that will be available with the Taken King. GameInformer has quick videos of the action on each map, as well as quotes from the Bungie team describing them. A link to the full article is in the description, and I highly recommend you go check it out. So let's start off with Bannerfall. Bannerfall is a map that we've seen before. It's set in a tower similar to the one we visit between missions. A mid-sized map, it will host both Control and Rift matches. Bungie was quoted saying, "At one time, there was a fourth faction that held court in this tower along with the beginnings of the New Monarchy faction." You can see that in the banners on each side of the map. On one side, you have the familiar New Monarchy logo, but on the other, you have this unfamiliar logo that is still tattered and torn from when this faction used to exist. Frontier is set on the city perimeter of Earth, a semi-symmetrical map with a train track bisecting it. It features a lot of sniper sightlines as well as closed spaces for short-range battles. Bungie says one of the landmarks on this map is a little gondola platform, which is actually the same gondola you see in the Twilight Gap. The idea is that these two maps are connected to each other. In the skybox, you can actually see that little outpost up in the mountains. Crossroads will be a Vex structure on Mars and will be one of the 2 maps to have teleporters. The map is said to be good for mayhem matches and has a separate island offset from the main map that will be accessible by launchers. Bungie says it's an interesting mix of that familiar Vex architecture that leans a little bit more toward metallic instead of crumbled stone, and there are giant rotted out tree stumps that provide some good cover. It's almost 2 maps because there is an entire chunk that functions as its main body where the teams spawn, and then there's a separate island that is a gnarled mass of trees and roots set away off to the side. They're connected via launchers that catapult you across the map, as well as 3 sets of teleporters. Next we have Sector 618, which looks like it takes place inside the walls of the Cosmodrome. Dominated by bridges with large gaps in between, there are many opportunities for Guardians to fall to their death. Bungie's quote, "The core footprint of the map is the square created by the bridges. We wanted players to take advantage of all the movement opportunities within the platforms. You have these 2 bridges, but on either side, you have these multi-stage jump routes where you can platform up to the high bridge and then jump along to the side to get the drop on another player. We wanted to give players a lot of different ways to move through the space in interesting ways." Ghost Ship is set on a damaged, fallen ship that was attacked by the Hive. It will be symmetrical and smaller, suitable for matches with fewer people. Bungie says Ghost Ship features some low-gravity effects, so dead Guardians and other objects will slowly float away. One of my favorite things in this map is when someone is running through one of the tiny little vent connections and they get killed by another player and ragdoll down into the hall. It tells a little story all by itself. Exile is a Hive prison cell on one of Oryx's ships. Long and narrow, it will be well suited to Clash and Control game modes. It will also have a lower level for vertical combat and a complicated maze of close combat corridors. Bungie's take? There are 3 main lanes through the map. There is a bridge side that takes you out past a window that shows you Saturn and some of the other ships in Oryx's fleet. Down the middle of the map is a ramp that takes you through a circular room with a crystal in it. In that room is a drop down, which allows you to enter a lower catacomb level. Memento will return us to the European dead zone that we first glimpsed in Widow's Court, a control map and a clash map. This will be more vertical than Widow's Court was. Bungie's quote, "Memento is more vertical than Widow's Court. There is one building in Widow's Court that has an elevation shift, but Memento has a couple of significant elevation shifts where you can get some really strong high ground advantages." Finally, we see Vertigo, a new Mercury map built into a Vex structure high above the surface of Mercury. Apparently, a Cabal expedition came to explore here, but disappeared without a trace. Bungie says one of the key features of the map is a one-way teleporter that spits players out on a really powerful platform on the other side of the map. The platform gives you great coverage of both ends of the map and really opens up some interesting gameplay moments. Vertigo's one central control room is really crucial and gives you fast access to anywhere on the map. So some interesting stuff here. I can't wait to get my hands on these maps. This should be a lot of fun. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.